Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. Today we're going to be planting some Pyrenean oaks. That'll be exciting. Here's a look at the oaks I'll be planting today. So there's one that still has the leaves on, and the other one, the leaves are off. So you can see all the buds on it, ready to grow. Blue Sky Bonsai has a really good video on these oaks, and I'll link that in the description below, so you can check that out. So I'll just get these unwrapped and see how many trees are in here. Okay, so let's get them unwrapped now. Yeah, Dave has a really good channel, Blue Sky Bonsai. As soon as he started the channel, I subscribed to it right away. And it's a fantastic channel. I really enjoy it. Okay, so there's the one. They're packed in sphagnum moss. So there is 3 trees in there. 4. There's 4 trees in here. 1, 2. Wow, and there's some wild looking roots on some of them. Check that out. And it looks like you can see the roots, the white tips. They're actively growing, I believe, unless that's a weed. No, it looks, no, it's coming from the tree. So they're actively growing. So that's good. And then I've got to unwrap this one too. Okay, I'm getting close now. Okay, so these ones are wrapped in a tissue and sphagnum moss. They're nice and damp, so that's good. Now they did get a bit of a freeze in the mailbox, but it is fairly warm out. It's not real cold, so I'm hoping everything's going okay with them. Okay, so there's all the trees I'll be planting today. There's also some pomegranate seeds in here, so I'll be planting those also. There's a look at all the trees. Very exciting getting Pyrenean oaks. Something new for the bonsai zone. I've got all my pots ready to plant the trees. I'm going to start by planting the largest tree, this one here. So you can see the taproot kind of comes down, kind of curls around. So eventually that has to be removed. You have to wait until your surface roots get strong enough that you can do without that taproot. So I'm thinking another year without disturbing the taproot. I could take the bottom portion of it off maybe. Another year with the taproot on, get these finer roots growing around the outside of it, and then you remove it totally. You remove it right up to kind of here and start your radial root base. So I think, I don't know, the taproot looks kind of, I think it's dead down below. I'm pretty sure it is. This root looks dead up to about here. So I'll prune that off and plant the tree. And I'll use the largest pot, the one behind it here. All right, I'll get a base layer of soil in the pot. I'm going to start the root pruning now. So I'm quite sure that root has died off, the lower part of it. You can see the living portion there, and then it kind of undercuts here. So I'm going to take it off right there. Yeah. And the rest I'll just leave. You know, it's starting to develop a bit of a radial root system. So let's get it in the pot now. Okay, so I think I'll just put it in the middle of the pot. Just try and grow it nice and healthy and strong. Now, let me get my dust mask on before I pour the soil in. It's not good to breathe this soil dust particles in. Okay, so here I go. I'm putting the soil all the way around the roots here. Pour a bit in, pull up slightly. Pour some more, pull up slightly. Some more, pull up slightly. And there. You got the roots nicely arranged. They taper down into the soil. That's why I pull it up like that. Okay, that is looking fantastic. That Pyrenean oak is planted. So I better water that right away. Move my tools out of the way. All right, here I go with the water. Give it a good soaking. So Dave told me that these trees, they can go below freezing, you know, a couple of degrees for a few nights, but generally you want to keep them above freezing. So I'm going to put these into the basement where it'll always stay kind of around 7 to 12 degrees Celsius. I've got one of my Pyrenean oaks planted. I'm going to plant all the rest of them, and I'll just show you the root pruning part because that's kind of specific to each tree. Other than that, you know, the planting procedure is the same for every tree. All right, it's time to root prune the second oak. You can see the taproot comes down. It probably hit the bottom of the pot and then it kind of goes off on an angle. I've got some white active roots growing down at the base here. So I've got some surface roots forming up top. So eventually, you know, I'd want to cut the taproot off and develop these roots. So I'm not going to do a lot of root pruning. I don't think I'll do any actually. I think I just want to get the tree growing strongly, get it to recover, and then next time I repot it, I can cut the taproot back, maybe, you know, in half or something. Kind of gradually getting back so I've got these radial roots developing up top. So I'll get this one planted without any root pruning. There, that should be good. All right, I'll water that. The next tree is an interesting tree. It has this kind of curvature to it. All right, here comes the last of the Pyrenean oaks. So this one, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's kind of got a root base forming down here. So, you know, that could be a future trunk there. Again, I don't think, I will do a little bit of root pruning, but not much. I'm just going to, this root is quite horizontal. I think I'm going to take a bit of a risk and prune off the upper part here. Like that. Just a little bit of pruning. Like that. And then I'll plant the tree. All right, I'll give that a watering. I've got the last of the larger 4 Pyrenean oaks planted. I put them all in bonsai containers. I get these at the thrift store and, you know, they're a little nicer looking than a training pot. I checked. These are Holm oaks, or they call them hollyoaks. When they're young, they have these little sharp splines or points on the leaves. And then as they get older, they lose those and they become just kind of, you know, oval-shaped leaves. These keep their leaves all winter, and the other ones, the Pyrenean oaks, lose their leaves in winter. So these are evergreen. The other ones are deciduous. I'm not going to do any root pruning on these. I want to just have them grow and recover and get more finer roots, and then I can start the root work maybe next year or in a couple of years. So I'll just plant them again as they are. All right. Again, I'll get a base layer of soil in here. Plant the tree upright. Okay. And give those a water. I've got the Pyrenean oaks all planted. I've got the Holm oaks planted. So I'm going to put them all in the basement where they'll stay kind of a stable temperature until spring. And then hopefully they'll start growing and I'll get all these fantastic oak bonsai on the go. I still have my pomegranate seeds to plant. I'm not sure how to open them up and how to plant them, so I'm going to go on the internet and find out, so I'll be right back. All right, I went on YouTube and they say to cut the pomegranate into 4 pieces. So here I go. I'll just cut it open with the scalpel. And it should be full of seeds inside. There it is. There's all the seeds. So it says to extract the seeds, which I can do. I can just pop one out at a time like that. And then it says to dry the seeds for a few days before planting them. And you can even wash them to remove any pulp. But these ones, I don't see a lot of pulp around them. So some of these were a bit cut in half here, but yeah. There's some good seeds. So this is a dwarf pomegranate. So they get the little tiny fruit and they have the miniature leaves. Really good for bonsai. There's all the seeds, so I'm just... Well, they come out really easily. You just gotta kind of peel the skin back. And I get all these hundreds of seeds. Now the other option, I guess I could plant them in dry soil. Just leave them in the soil for a few days and then water them. We'll do that. Might as well get them planted today. Why wait? Wow, there's all the seeds. There's a lot of seeds in there. Doesn't really smell like anything. So there's all my pomegranate seeds. There's a close-up look at all the seeds. I've got a base layer of soil in the pot, so I'm going to sprinkle the seeds on top. And if I get a whole bunch growing, I can always thin them out. You know, just keeping some of my stronger growers. Like that. And then I'll put some soil on top. So you're not supposed to plant them too deeply. It says to keep them kind of shallow, so not too much soil on the top. And they should do fine. I'm just going to put a little bit more soil just to make sure they're all kind of buried. There, that should do it. Okay. So that can go in the plant room now. I have a few more seeds. I'll plant those in a smaller container. Let me get my dust mask on first. So here I go. And that's a good height. And then I can plant my seeds. So I'll get all the rest of my pomegranate seeds, sprinkle them on top, and hopefully I'll get some pomegranate plants growing. Like that. Just take that big piece of bark out of there. Tamp it down a bit. And that's ready to go in the plant room. That was a really fun afternoon planting seedlings and seeds, preparing for the future. I'll have lots of oaks growing. I've got all those English oaks I planted, my royal oaks. I've got these Pyrenean oaks planted. I've got the Holm oaks planted now. So I really like oak bonsai. I think they're fantastic trees. So I'm hoping in spring I have all these nice oaks growing so I can further develop them into bonsai. Here's a look at my 2 royal oaks that I planted, I think it was 4 years ago. And they're developing really nicely. Last summer I pruned off all the lower branches and I'm starting to form my upper branching or canopy on the tree. Really cool. They're dropping their leaves now. You can see the leaves, they're just barely hanging on. If I touch them, they fall off. Because there's not much wind here in the greenhouse, there's just the little fan. They don't really fall off the tree too easily. But yeah, you can see how tiny some of the leaves are. They're like the size of my fingernail. Amazing trees. Here's a look at the oak leaves on the ground. So the Pyrenean oaks have a similar shape to this, except it's more exaggerated. It looks more like a palm leaf or something. So it'll be really exciting getting those going. I'll put a link to Dave's YouTube channel, Blue Sky Bonsai, in the description below. I'll also put a link to his video on the Pyrenean oaks that he grew from seeds. It's a really good video, really informative. You'll learn a lot from it. And hopefully it'll inspire you to grow some oaks of your own. It is December 30th today. The year is coming to an end. And so is season 8 of the Bonsai Zone. I'll be starting season 9 very soon. I can't believe it's been 8 years I've been on YouTube. Time flies when you're having fun. And that's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.